Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm your host, Movie Miss, and my co-host, Drive-In Dave, is off this week. So I've got a not quite so good it's bad movie. I'm going to say just a bad movie to cover this week. Shockingly, that was my opinion. I'm not doing this alone. I do have guests with me today. First up, we've got Nix from the Cinema Shit Show. He's our returning champ for this episode. Hello, sir.
Hey, Miss, I missed you, Miss. Thank you for having me. I'll try not to stink up the place too bad.
I'm really glad you wanted to come on for this one. And let me introduce our other guest and then we'll get to your thoughts. Also joining us this week is Dave the Albatross, who has been a guest on the Shit Show. And now I am so happy he's joining me today for this one. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, pretty good. Just waking up.
Are you excited about our film this week? Would you please tell everyone the film we chose to cover?
It is The Golden Child, and yes, I am excited. And I'm sorry that you didn't like it, and I know that Nix does not like it either. So, it's always been a movie that I've enjoyed. But,
so that was going to be my question for you. The Golden Child from 1986, starring Eddie Murphy. I just recently watched the new Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, and I've been on an Eddie Murphy kick. My co-host wanted to watch Beverly Hills Cop last year for his birthday pick because it's not a turkey. It's, a great film. So I've been on an Eddie Murphy kick and I was like, Golden Child, yes, let me revisit this one. I remember loving it. And no.
Eddie Murphy is back. But this time, he's looking for a missing child, a golden child.
This child is special, Mr. Giraud. His destiny is to save the world.
And it's your destiny to seek some serious psychiatric help. Hey, man, ask you boys a couple of questions.
By the time he finds you, it will be too late.
Hey. In my pocket, it's a whole thing of Tic Tacs. Take as many as you like, please.
I could destroy you, just like that.
Just like that. You're wonderful. Nobody be alarmed. I'm Ma'am Chandler Jarrow, American Stolen Artifacts Finders of America.
He is irresponsible.
A bed? Is that a bed?
He is a careless, thoughtless, undisciplined fool.
I should be punished. I should be purged. I should be flogged.
You are the chosen one. You will find a child.
Well, I do my best. I'm so afraid of the dark, too.
I really don't like your attitude.
This is a nice jacket. It's a Morris Day feel, and it looks good on you. And the boots, smoking.
He's got a firm grip on reality. Where he's going, he'll need it.
How'd you do that? What was that with the flip?
You must carry this glass of water without spilling a drop.
Who are you, Monty Hall now? This is a piece of cake!
Eddie Murphy is the chosen one.
Well, how many people have survived this test?
None. The Golden Child.
This, I haven't seen Norbit. That's probably the worst movie he's ever done. I'm going to say this is the second worst movie he's ever done. My opinion. So I want to know, though, from you, what was your first exposure to this? And clearly you enjoy it. So you've revisited it, I imagine, over the years.
Yeah, I watch it probably about once a year.
Wow.
I get on a certain kick. I watch this and I watch Big Trouble in Little China right around the same times. Usually I'll watch them the same day or within the same week.
Okay.
And
so did you see this when it first came out?
Yes, my older brother took me to see it at the theater in the little town I grew up in. He used to take me to see all the comedy movies. It was anything like he took me to see at the theater. I saw Beverly Hills Cop. I saw Beverly Hills Cop 2. I saw Ghostbusters with him. I saw Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School. Anything Fletch. Anything that has any of the comedians, and he was really big into comedy. And he still is. He's not gone. He's not like he's with me, not with us anymore or anything. I know I'm old, but not quite that old. But it was just something me and him did. It was every once in a while on a Friday, if he had off, we'd go up into town and go see a movie.
Okay.
And it was a comedy.
Well, this one's supposed to be.
I thought it was, and I still think it is. I mean, I know it's not on par with Beverly Hills Cop. There are reasons for that, but
yeah,
we'll get into
we'll get into it. All right, well, let me hop over to you, Nix. I would love to know your first exposure to this and how you feel about it now.
Well, I also saw it when it first came out, and as a child, I was bored to fucking tears until we got our stop motion Pepsi can and our stop motion demon, and that's about the only things that caught my attention. Other than that, there were no jokes. It wasn't funny. Yeah, it's just not funny, man. But it's funny, Dave, that you mentioned Fletch, because that's the same director that did this movie. He also did Fletch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not here to shit all over it. There are some entertaining things. I just feel like we're probably going to discuss they had to do a quick rewrite on this. Once they hired Eddie Murphy instead of Mel Gibson. So there were some quick changes made.
Yeah. So y'all had wanted to cover or at least Albatross, Dave, you wanted to cover this. Nick's not so much. But it does qualify for my show. It is a turkey. Rotten Tomato critic score of 20% and audience of 47%. So the audience likes it a lot more than the critics do.
Well, it did make a lot of money. It was a huge hit. It outperformed Big Trouble in Little China, which came out around the same time, which is absolutely depressing, guys.
Which makes, however, though, so the budget was reportedly anywhere from 12 to 25 million. There's a big gap there, but it did 149 at the box office. Eddie was a bona fide successful star. He had done 48 Hours, Saturday Night Live, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America. Like, he was a big deal. So that makes sense that everybody ran out and went, oh, Eddie Murphy vehicle, let's go, Yeah.
And then he didn't have any jokes to tell, did he?
Well, that's one thing I came across in my research, was that a lot of his stuff was ad lib. And unfortunately, that seems like the only times in the movie where there's a joke is when he's trying to be funny. And to me, 2 bits in this entire movie work, and we'll get to them. So this was directed, as you mentioned, Michael Ritchie, who did Fletch 1 and 2, Bad News Bears, Cool Runnings. He did Big Trouble in Little China. Is that what you said as well?
No. It was released around the same time.
Around the same time as okay. I was like, I didn't find that in my research.
Well, originally John Carpenter was looking at this movie and then decided to do Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, that's right. It's a John Carpenter movie. Duh.
Come on, miss. What?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at my notes while talking to you at the same time, so I've got like 3 things going on in my head. So yes, the writer for this, Dennis Feldman, who had done previously Just One of the Guys, which is a movie I love and think is very funny.
I grew up renting that all the time.
Right? Well, because of the titties, right?
She was very sexy.
I know my Nicks. So he was signed on for this, but I was doing in my research, I saw that he was doing something called The Rose of Tibet, which is this story, but not as a comedy. And like you said, Paramount wanted it. They gave him they bought it for $330,000. They wanted the script. And then they wanted Mel Gibson, and they wanted John Carpenter, who said, no, thank you. I'm going to do Big Trouble in Little China. So the pivot of Mel Gibson and a serious movie, to me, I could take or leave Mel Gibson, but I think this would have played a lot better as a serious movie. They tried so hard to interject the Eddie Murphy-ness, and to me, it doesn't work.
I mean, it was originally going to be a noir movie too, a pulp noir movie. I mean, and they put it in modern age and everything. And go ahead.
Okay. Let's pretend that they went ahead and they made the movie a serious film, still set in modern day, starring whoever. It doesn't matter. But they kept that serious tone. Do you think you would have enjoyed it?
No.
No.
I like noir movies and stuff like that too, but I'm just saying that I don't think I would have liked it if it was completely serious, because I mean, Big Trouble in Little China is not completely serious. I love that movie, and I'm not saying that this movie is on par with Big Trouble in Little China. It is not. But
it's like Big Trouble in Little China is Hollywood and The Golden Child is the Valley. Like, it's kind of off adjacent,
Yeah. I don't know why I cling to this movie and still watch it once a year or so, but
Nostalgia.
it has a lot of the, I don't know, kind of the feel of that, and I like the goofy little things that Eddie Murphy adds to this movie.
That's fair.
And I think, well, you said we'll get to some things, and when we get to talk about the points, I'll point out where I think the funny stuff is. And
perfect.
And I like some of the other people in this movie.
Charles Dance. Charles Dance is fucking amazing. Whenever he's on screen, it's like, yes, more of this, please.
Oh, there was people in this. Okay, so top billed cast, we've got Eddie Murphy, Charles Dance, Charlotte Lewis, Victor Wong, J.L. Reet, Randall Tex Cobb, and James Hong. So Charles Dance, I don't know what it is about this man. He's just got screen presence for days. I am drawn to him. He's not like my type, like I'm not physically attracted to him, but he just has a magnetism when he's on screen and everything he does, I think.
Oh, what's your type, miss?
Joe Manganiello, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, tall, gray, bearded.
Oh, hey, I'm kind of tall. I have a great beard.
I'm gonna say my type is my husband.
Good answer.
He is my type, but he fits that category. So
okay, well, good for him.
Good for me.
Good for him. I do not fit that category, so I mean.
But I did want to comment earlier, and I forgot. I am enjoying your hair. I love your hair. That you're growing your hair out.
Yeah, I had it long when I was young. The pandemic stuff happened, and screw it, I'm going to grow my hair back, and I'm never going to cut it again. I mean, I did end up cutting it to trim it and stuff.
All right, so I did want to throw out there for Nix, did you do any research on who else was in this film? There's a gentleman named Pons Mar who plays that weird, like, monkey face looking henchman guy.
Oh, yeah, he's cool.
Did you see what else he was in?
No.
I did not.
Masters of the fucking Universe.
Oh, who'd he play?
Imagine that.
Oh, I didn't look up the character name. I just saw that he was one of the creatures in the makeup that works with Skeletor.
He's probably the snake guy that gets killed at the beginning.
Oh, how depressing.
He's tall, so he probably is either that guy or the beast guy. But yeah, he was in Masters of the Universe. I died. I was like, no way. Also, Turkeyverse Connection, because we covered it as well, Masters of the Universe. So there you go. Did you also notice, gentlemen, that ILM did some of the effects for this movie?
Not only that, they co-produced it.
I was shocked because of the how it looks.
Yeah. Well, from what I've been able to figure out, they did a bunch of experimental stuff that they were experimenting on to put before to use before they did Roger Rabbit and while they were using Roger Rabbit.
That's cool.
So they use this as an opportunity to like guinea pig testing ground.
Yeah. So
Sure.
you're the demon that you laughed at so much while we were watching it. Was experimental stuff.
Well, hey, now look, I gotta say this. I mean, it was overseen by Phil Tippett, who's one of the greatest stop motion artists, modern, since Ray Harryhausen is gone and whatnot. He's a guy that did like, Ed 209 and a lot of the big budget Hollywood stop motion effects that you've seen. So he did do the effects, but the design was kind of.
He did Empire, didn't he?
Yeah, he worked
he
on
did
Star
all the
Wars
AT-AT
flicks.
walkers and
he did the Tom Toms. Yeah. And he's the guy that spent 20 years making his own movie called Mad God, which just got released last year finally. He worked on it for 20 some odd years and it just got released. If you guys haven't seen Mad God, I would highly recommend it. It is a fucking nightmare. It's beautiful in a hideous way.
So I want to segue over to another presence in this film, a voice that voices the Thing. They call him the Thing. I would say he's supposed to be like Satan or the devil or something. Frank Welker. Yes, you are familiar.
Oh, he's in just about everything I love.
He's in everything.
He has, I think, 2,500 voices under his belt over movies and television.
Wow.
So most 80s kids, we would know him as what? fucking
Megatron.
Yeah. But he did everything else too.
He was Wild Bill in G.I. Joe. He was one of the Dreadnoughts in G.I. Joe. Freddy from Scooby-Doo. Garfield.
I saw that he did D&D voices too, and Tiny Toons.
I don't know who. It probably Venger. I don't know who he was in D&D, but
but you're wearing the shirt. How dare you, sir?
Oh well, this is for the game. But he was Dr. Claw in Inspector Gadget, which is the exact same voice he uses here.
Oh, how funny!
And which is also, I think he was the same voice he used in Spawn the movie.
What, Ismail Bolja?
I guess so. I've only seen Spawn twice, and I own it.
You didn't collect the comics?
Well, yeah, I have the first 10.
Okay.
But
so which comic is this?
Spawn. But you don't know who Mel Bolja is. Okay.
He's the demon thing.
He's basically Satan, right?
Well, okay, yeah, but
and he's the one whose mouth doesn't move in the movie, right? That's what we're talking about. Giant CGI character, his mouth doesn't even move. It's incredible. Oh, that movie. Oh,
there's a turkey.
We gotta do it.
All right, so the IMDb plot for The Golden Child. Let's see how accurate this is. A private detective specializing in missing children is charged with the task of finding a special child whom dark forces want to eliminate.
Sounds pretty accurate, I guess. Yeah.
And not funny at all.
No, much like the film. Sorry, Dave.
Well, like I always like to say on my show is everyone's got their opinion. This is technically a turkey, so I expect there to be opposing views. And if I'm shitting on it, I'm not shitting on you for liking it.
Oh, well,
I mean, you didn't make the movie, right?
There was a reason why I wanted him to be on this with me, because for one, I get nervous when I'm by myself and I will clam up. So, and I've met you a couple times, but me and him go way back, so I can talk if he's in the room. So
that works. All right,
I'll be your guide rails, Dave. No worries.
Thanks, T-Bob. You're my hero.
All right, let's jump into this movie, shall we?
Wait, okay, now because they hired Eddie Murphy because he was, a rising star at this time. And he has a signature laugh that he would do in like Beverly Hills Cop, right?
All his movies.
No, not really. Not after this one. I think he kind of phased it out. But we know the laugh. Okay, I can't do it. Can anybody do the laugh?
Not without sounding like a donkey in distress.
Something like that.
Yep, the donkey in distress. There it is.
Yeah. All right. Did anybody count the amount of Eddie Murphy's signature laughs in the film?
I bet you did.
I did.
You did?
0.
What?
He tries. It's not the big rambunctious fun laugh we're used to in this film. Not at all. Not once.
Yeah, but he's still doing it, even if it's half-hearted.
That's the word. You can tell he's kind of going like he's trying.
Right. Yeah, he's just throwing it in there because this is what people want. I counted 11 times throughout the film, and most of it's right at the very beginning when he is running around and talking to the lady and whatnot. But 11 times he throws it in here, and it's just I'm sorry. What a stupid thing to notice.
No, not at all. I noticed as well. Every time he would laugh, I'd be like, and that's not quite it. Every time I was waiting. So, all right. Our movie opens in present day Tibet, in a room with there's chanting monks. Outside, we see what are no doubt villains by the way they're dressed and everything. Very ominous soundtrack. It was very Miami Vice Casio, the soundtrack here.
Oh, yeah. So it would cut from, inside the temple, which was very, moody and all that. And then you cut outside to the bad guys approaching.
It wasn't that bad, was it? I don't know. I kind of thought of it as Casio, like a bad Casio.
Oh, you mean the do.
Yeah.
Where they're coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very jarring that you're going from this, kind of moody kind of area. And then outside, it's like you're at an 80s fucking club.
It was very jarring. Inside with the Golden Child, he's watching a little puppet show. Oh, and the other thing we forgot to mention, the Golden Child is supposed to be a boy and they keep referring to him as he. He even has
Mhm.
a bald head, a shaved head, and just this sweet little face. And when I was doing the research, I just now realized, however many 40 years later, it's a girl. It's an
It's a little girl.
actress. Oh my
Yeah.
God. In fact, at the premiere recently of the new Beverly Hills Cop on the red carpet, they had her there so that she and Eddie could take a picture together, and they were like, Golden Child reunion. It's like, no,
Oh,
it's
they're
one
trying to
actress and Eddie Murphy.
they're trying to pull a Harrison Ford in Short Round.
Exactly.
But yeah, the puppet show he's watching, let's clarify, it's like an Asian Punch and Judy, where
Yes.
the puppets are just attacking each other.
Yes, and the golden child is smiling and like really enjoying it. I thought it was so cute. That's the one thing that kept me watching this, honestly, on this rewatch, was how cute. I wanted all the scenes, more scenes with the golden child. We didn't get enough, I thought.
Yeah, it was very Eddie Murphy centric.
Yeah. So in the main hall, the monks are giving gifts, and then there's a bird, this beautiful little rainbow colored bird that the golden child touches, and it comes back to life. So you're like, oh, okay, this is the golden child. They're magic, I guess.
Yeah.
Powers.
I think it's funny how whenever they hold that up, I'm wondering, are the other two birds really dead? Because you can tell a vast difference between those other two birds and the one that's laying there being an actor bird, because he is an actor bird and he touches that bird and it comes to life. But those other two birds, I mean, do they tell me those are like little puppets and not like, here, we're going to lay you next to two of your dead family members? And
No, dude, no. Those had to be fake birds.
In the end credits, there was not anything that said no animals were harmed in the making of this movie.
Uh-oh.
Peter did not sign off on this movie.
Somebody had some parakeet dinner at the
well,
end.
honestly, I don't think they killed two birds to put them on the plate. I mean, surely you can go to any local PetSmart and get a couple of the dead birds that died over the weekend.
Oh my God.
I'm serious. Those places are horrible.
Could you imagine? They're like, we got these two dead birds and one that will play dead.
Oh my God. Okay. Now, no.
Don't think
All
about
right,
it.
hold on. Look, all right. Get away from that. Now, you guys are missing a very important part where the kid gets a cool little hat. That's like one of the things that he gets.
Mhm.
And then an old dude comes up and he's like, he doesn't say this, but he's like holds out a tray of necklaces that he's made, like an offering to this child. And the child, instead of taking any of those necklaces that man made for him, takes the man's necklace and just like, this is mine now. God damn it. What a little shit.
You can do that when you're all powerful.
You know, I can see how you can see it that way, but maybe it made the man happy because he chose the thing that he held dear, and he is the golden child.
Yes.
Oh, look at you putting a spin on it.
Yeah.
No, it's like if I walked up to you and said, I like your glasses better than mine, and I just take them off your face.
Well,
I mean, how would you feel about that? Come on.
Well, the old man seemed to be very happy that he chose his
He was
little
very
poor
pleased.
man's necklace.
Yes, he was
That's
very
true.
happy to have it stolen from him.
Oh, yeah, stolen.
But that's okay, because he's got 3 other necklaces now to choose from, but none of the ones that he made for himself. So, okay, great.
Suddenly now, two worlds collide when Charles Dance and his band of ne'er-do-wells bust in and kidnap the golden child with a giant hand claw cage thing. It looked like something from the claw machine, right?
Yes.
How amazing was that thing?
I guess we all have the same notes in our notes. It's like the claw game.
So the magic child touches one of the bad guys and he gets killed fighting with his fellow villains. I'm guessing he turns him good, pure thoughts or something there.
He can manipulate him. He can now control him or something.
Oh, okay.
He cleanses him with a touch.
Okay. And can he touch Nyx? Let's get him to touch Nyx.
Hey, I'm beautiful just the way I am. Thank you.
Cleanse your thoughts. So the shots here, especially Charles Dance at the end when he's leaving the temple, reminded me so much of Game of Thrones because the coat and the snow and the
Oh, I only watched the first season of Game of Thrones. I read the books, but
It just visually reminded me a lot of the cold weather, and they're always wearing the
Yeah.
big coats and the everything.
at the wall and stuff like that.
Now,
Yes.
Charles Dance, let's point this out now because we're in the middle of fucking a goddamn mountain, and it's very freezing. And Charles Dance, this whole time, has been wearing his coat like an evil businessman, where it's not, he doesn't even have his arms in the sleeves. He's just got it draped around his shoulders because he's just that much of a badass.
Well, we didn't know at the time that he probably has his own heat.
He's not
Being-
human. Yeah.
Being a demon and all.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know that. You're right when you're first watching it, but yeah. So then we cut to LA, street scene. We get credits rolling to an upbeat early 80s pop song.
Mhm.
I did not know this song.
Now, did you listen to the lyrics?
No.
The song is singing about how he's the best man in the world. That's like the chorus. He's the best man in the world. They are really struggling to make you like Eddie Murphy as a character.
And nothing's even happened yet with him.
He's a fucking asshole, is what happens.
Here it goes.
So
Okay,
well,
I'll let her go.
let's get into it. Eddie's going around hanging up missing children flyers. What a dick. And then he stops at a newsstand to look over a man's shoulder who's reading a porn magazine on the sidewalk. This happened in the 80s, people.
Mm-hmm.
And did you see the name of the magazine? I think he points it out.
Chunky
Oh,
asses.
I got it all.
Chunky asses.
I
Oh
brought
my
the
God.
receipt.
I was dying. Did you look behind him and see just rack o porn just right
Yeah.
there?
Oh, yeah.
No, like black covers over it, to hide the images. Nothing.
It was the 80s. I mean, we used to go up and like the comic books were right next to the porn magazines at the drugstore by my house.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
like you'd sit there and flipping through the comic books, and every once in a while you'd reach over and look through the porn magazines too. Not that I ever did that.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
a good boy.
Yep, kids, it was the Wild West in the 80s. Boy,
Yeehaw!
anything went.
So, I mean, but this is why I say he's an asshole. Like, not hanging up the flyers to find lost children. That's, I mean, whatever. But no, it's when he comes up, this guy is doing nothing to him. He's just existing. And so he's looking over his shoulder and he's like, oh, Butt Pie is a sequel to a book called Butt Cake. Very popular at the newsstands. It's about this butt with cake all over it. And then the guy is just like ashamed and puts the magazine down. And then Eddie, he's still not done. He's like, Chunky asses, because that was the name of the magazine. It's just like, why did you do that to that man? He didn't do anything to you. How fucking rude. So, but they just had to throw in a quote unquote funny scene.
So I'm going to throw it to you, Dave. I know you enjoy his humor in this. Did you find that funny?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
I don't think it's nice for you to pick on somebody for what they like, but delivery I thought was funny.
Fair. So he next goes to Pink's Famous, and he's driving around town. He winds up on a TV show. And this to me is one of two funny bits in this whole
This
movie.
is one of the best funny bits in the whole
Absolutely.
movie.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Chandler Gerald is Eddie Murphy's name in this, and I just called him Gerald through all my notes. And
Mr. Yarrow.
he's on there to talk about a specific missing girl. He's got the flyer, and I don't know if he has never watched this show that he's on, but this guy's a putz. The guy who's interviewing him and talking to the other guests.
It's insinuated that is a fairly new show. There's only been like 5 episodes so far. So Eddie Murphy was like, oh, hey, a local show. Let me jump on there.
Okay. Well, the host seems very nervous and awkward, and that would make sense if it's new. There's an old lady in a house dress sitting there and a man wearing a crown. And then here's Eddie with his flyer of the missing girl. And I'm like, one of these things is not like the other. Like, he looks like he's there to do some serious business, and the other people are there to clown around. The guy asks about his hat, his line of work. He asks about something with tortoises, the old lady and tortoises or something.
She has a big tortoise on her lap. She brought it in.
Oh my God. So Eddie's trying this whole time to get in. This is a missing girl. This is her name. If you have any information, and he's trying to give out the number, and the guy keeps interrupting him. And I love when he finally just goes, kiss my ass, shut up, to this guy.
Yeah, he grabs the microphone. You take that microphone away, I will beat your ass. If you don't put that camera on me, I will beat your ass. I love Eddie Murphy. I'm sorry. It's hilarious.
This whole bit had me in stitches. And it was, what, 5 minutes in? And I thought, okay, here we go. Okay. And then I don't laugh again till like almost the end of the movie.
Sorry.
Hey, you didn't make the film.
No,
I like it.
That whole scene also ends on a sex change joke.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So as Eddie gets up and is like, you can do whatever you're doing here, and gets up and leaves, and the host leans over to the guy, I guess the guy with the crown, and was like, so you recently had a sex change.
Again, in the 80s, Wild West. Anything flew. So we cut to a woman who was watching the show while she's transcribing a scroll in another language, and we're not sure what's going on there. And that is Charlotte Lewis. And you do not find out her name is Kee, Kee, until 3/4 of the way through this fucking movie. So I didn't even have her name written down in here. I was just like, Asian lady. And I felt terrible because I'm like, I know she's got a name. Yeah.
I just called her lady.
But she's gorgeous, I think.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I didn't care for her acting style. Granted, they don't give her a whole hell of a lot to do or say in this film.
Oh no, she just needs to immediately fall in love with Eddie Murphy for no reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the point where, yeah, she wants to marry him. It's like, what? You don't know this man. Bizarre. Okay, and have you guys seen her in anything else? Because I was trying to look at her IMDb and she didn't really do much.
Yeah, I had T-Bob looking at this when we were watching the movie because I was like, I don't think she's ever been. He said she was in some low budget stuff.
Okay, yeah, I was like, that's a shame because she was trying and she was pretty.
Very pretty,
especially when she's moist.
Oh my god. So we cut to a schoolyard and Gerald is playing b-ball with some kids, which I thought was interesting choice. Mentoring them or something, I don't know, but he's
obviously he does community outreach, and that way.
What a dick! Total dick. What an asshole. So he goes over to talk to that woman who shows up and is watching them. She says that he is the finder of lost children. And he's just like, I like working with kids. And like you said, outreach and everything. And I forget what the joke is, but he at one point tells her to shut up or something. I was like, well, that was, and I just wrote in my notes, shut up. That's weird. Like, why throw that in there?
I don't remember that.
I remember him telling the kids to shut up because they were trying to get him to throw the ball. And
yes, that's what it was. Right. He yells at them, shut up. And then he turns around and he's trying to be charming with her. And I was like,
asshole.
Really, bro? Like she saw you do that.
Yeah.
This is also where he tries to do some more improvisation with the scroll.
You had two of these.
Looks like a big joint, and then he mimes licking it, and he explains it. I'm licking it like a joint. I'm like, oh my god, dude, you're trying way too hard.
Okay, so let me ask both of you, because people that know me know I don't find drug or alcohol or pot humor. I don't find any of that stuff funny. So I didn't find this bit funny. Is it a funny bit? I'm biased because of my views, I think, on it.
In this part, I kind of have to agree with T-Bob. It's kind of like he's reaching.
Okay.
Just looking for something to fill the time and put a joke in.
Well, he's basically telling her that she's out of her mind and she must have smoked a joint.
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, you were the chosen one and you're to go with me to Tibet to find this little kid and everything like that. And he's like, you're crazy and this scroll must be a big joint and you smoked the other one.
Okay. So laughs it off, does the jokes, and excuses himself after saying she needs psychiatric help. Okay.
Well, I mean, if somebody come to you at the basketball game and told you that you are the chosen one and you're supposed, especially in the streets of any city, if somebody comes up and tells me you're the chosen one and you have to go to Tibet and find the missing child because the demons are after it and you got to get the dagger of a giant. Well, I guess that wasn't part of that conversation.
That wasn't part of that conversation.
But still, it's still a little bit hard to grasp, and I can imagine that.
Do you need $5 for that prophecy?
So that raises a question, though, to both of you. How did she come to the determination that he is the chosen one?
Saw him on TV.
Yeah.
So that's not like I missed a scene where they gave us that information.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. She knows that the chosen one will be found in the city of angels, and he is no angel. and he's the finder of lost children. So she watches on TV, sees this guy who's on TV that finds lost children. He's an asshole and he's not nice. So obviously he's got to be the guy.
Okay, fair enough. Next, Gerald and a police detective have found the body of the missing girl he has been looking for. And why is a lone detective, not detective, a guy that looks for children? I don't know if he's like a PI or what, but he's allowed to walk around the crime scene and take Polaroids, take photos. What is it? Because 80s Wild West?
I'm assuming it's because he knows the police that are there, because he talks. He's like, because the policeman that was there is like, "Is this the one you were looking for?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's Cheryl Mosley." I'm assuming that they have previous encounters together, and in the extended universe of the adventures of Chandler Yarrow,
in the prequels, we'll get into that.
So in other looking for children things.
A lot of assumptions made there.
Well,
so he takes photos all over inside the house, and he sees that same woman is outside watching him. He finds bloody oatmeal on the stove. I had no idea why that was happening. I was so disgusted by it. I'm so glad they explain it later, because I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Well, let's clarify. He sees the oatmeal in the bowl. It's not bloody, but he goes ahead and grabs a spoon and pokes it, and then you see the blood come up from underneath. And it's like, yeah, it's very disgusting. But
oh, it is.
I don't know why he was just like, suspicious bowl of oatmeal. Or,
that's why he's a detective.
He's not a detective in this.
He's a private detective.
That's what I'm wondering. They never specify, but he must be.
That doesn't mean you're trained in anything. It just means you can call yourself that. Okay, sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. So he goes to a tattoo shop. He notices that woman is sitting in a car across the street, staking him out. He goes over and tells her he's not taking her case, and she lets him know he's already on it.
Dun, dun, dun.
In a coffee shop now, they sit, and she tells him that the blood and the writings on the wall are a magic spell to keep the golden child from astral projecting. She doesn't know why they killed Cheryl or why they're using her blood in food. They go to a Chinese herb shop for some answers. I did laugh when they walk into this Chinese herb shop. We find out it's her friend, Dr. Hong, who has a secret lair downstairs in the basement. But the shop with all the herbs, it reminded me of that movie with Steven Seagal and Keenan Ivory Wayans called The Glimmer Man, where they go in and he tries to give him dried deer penis for his allergies, because they go to a Chinese herbalist. And I was like, oh my God, give him some deer penis. That would be so funny right about now. But no, they don't.
I try to avoid Steven Seagal movies. Sorry.
Oh, it's terrible. So they go into this basement room, Dr. Hong, and they talk to Kala, who is behind this guard wall, what do you call those things? Like a room divider where you can kind of see through it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. It's like a screen, a fold-out screen type thing.
Yeah. And she's, you can see her head. It's a woman. She's hidden. And she's just slightly obscured. You can see her face. She explains why the golden child is important, why they need to save him. Gerald asks why they're feeding him blood. Kala says that the people that took him are trying to feed him impurities to make him vulnerable. He jokes at this moment of all moments about asking her out, and she scoffs at it and then tells him, you're the chosen one, so you're going to have to find the golden child. It was a very ill-timed, weird joke, I thought.
I want to add something here, because he also tells her at this point that her silhouette is kicking. And we'll get back to this in a little while. Yeah, because the silhouette was pretty good at this point behind the screen. So
right,
just saying, as her silhouette is kicking, and I will jump in whenever the next part comes up that I want to talk about this.
Okay. So we also find out that she's 300 years old and that her ancestor was raped by a dragon. And our great virtuous hero says, does that happen a lot where you're from, or something like that? It's like, wow. Can you imagine being confronted with all this weird magical shit and just being like brushing it off? trying to make witty one-liners instead of trying to, wrap your head around that this shit might be real.
Well,
I
and
mean,
that's
his coping mechanism, I would guess.
yeah, and that's part of what I was saying. He back whenever he was talking about the joint and stuff, he still does not believe any of this shit.
Not at this point, no. So outside, he's walking with that woman they're talking. He still is not buying any of this. And I can't, I'm trying to think of the point when he does take that turn and he finally starts to believe. I feel like it happens later than it should have. Like he should have bought into this a little sooner, I think.
Do you think it's after he has sex with that woman? Do you think that's what convinced him?
That's what convinced him to go.
Yeah. Even though she claims that's not why, but yeah, we know. The woman says none of this is fake. Kala is the librarian at the secret repository. She was flown in to help them. She's over 300 years old. The whole dragon thing, which I was like, holy shit, a human was raped by a dragon. What are we going to get to see later?
I thought dragon penises were huge.
Yeah, but put a pin in that. We'll talk about expectations of seeing Dragon Lady. So that night, the woman drops Gerald at home. She turns him down for a nightcap. He gets the idea that, and does this rant about the spirits have told him she needs to come up for a drink. And
await further instructions.
I did not laugh at this. I was, again, it felt to me, and you guys keep saying it, or at least Nick's does, that it's like he's trying real hard to come up with something funny in the moment, like reaching.
Definitely.
But he does put a pin in it by going, oh, I'll be good. No, you won't. Why the fuck are you trying so hard to get her up to your room? You're not going to be good. Don't lie. So he says he likes to give a woman 2 chances to say no, and she turns him down the second time. That did make me giggle. I was like, good for you, girl. Knock down his nonsense.
Well, there's going to be a scene later on in the movie that I will comment on when it comes up that she's an odd one.
So he goes into his cute little house, and I thought to myself, I wonder what that house cost, because he does not appear to make a whole bunch of money. And this is a nice, cute little house. Like, good for him.
Wait,
I don't know how he affords it.
Oh, he goes in, not
he.
she.
Yeah,
Okay,
he in this nice little house. Then we cut to a warehouse somewhere, and the golden child still in the cage. Elaborate scribbles on the wall and the floor. I'm guessing, again, to keep him prisoner, like they said. It just very cool looking visually, though. I did like those set pieces whenever we see the golden child being held captive. That was fun. I liked it visually.
Yeah.
A few henchmen are there. One gets a wild hair to shoot rocks with a slingshot at the golden child.
Yeah, the doofus one, right?
He's the one.
That's Randall Tex Cobb.
Hell yeah, it is.
For some reason, this guy in all his makeup makes me think of John C. Reilly.
Yes, that's in my notes.
I told Dad to team up while we were watching it. I was like, I couldn't remember his name at the time. I was like, he reminds me of the guy from. And
I'm like,
makeup.
Dr. Steve Brule.
So that little plan backfires because the rocks shoot back. But next, the golden child transforms a Pepsi can using his mind, and it dances to a version of Putting on the Ritz.
And this is where Nix emits a squeal of joy and really loves this fucking movie.
Because it's stop motion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. Actually, I wanted more to happen. I wanted more of that.
You almost cried when he stepped on it.
Yes. Well, it was cute.
That's the death in this movie that hits hard.
And that's also, I think, the biggest product placement in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because it's a Pepsi can.
Yeah, I was surprised there wasn't more of that because the 80s was more egregious than now with product placement. So Charles Dance comes in and kills the Pepsi can, tells the golden child, you need to eat, and scolds the henchman and then storms off. And I'm like, Charles Dance, come back. You were here for 45 seconds. Come back.
Please.
Yeah. So then we see the golden child mentally tip the bowl of oatmeal over and eat a leaf from a few that he has in his pocket. Do we ever find out what that is that he's munching on to sustain himself?
Eucalyptus.
I'm not sure what it is, but I know there's this little plant that we have outside that my wife eats the leaves also off of and says it's good for her.
Oh, I'm sure it's the same thing.
Who knows?
Eucalyptus. He wants fresh breath.
I thought eucalyptus was poisonous.
Don't
No,
pandas eat eucalyptus?
I thought that koalas ate eucalyptus, and they're the only ones
them.
that can do it.
This isn't a zoo podcast. We're not
Okay,
talking
sorry.
about
Our
animals.
we're not animal scientists.
Okay.
Just yeah, it's fine. So the golden child astral projects to outside, and I don't know how he manages to do this because he's got protected spells, but he's outside Gerald's window and then disappears. Then the bird from the beginning of the movie is now sitting outside the window, and Gerald asks it if he saw the Hare Krishna midget that was floating in the tree. I did not laugh when he said it, but I laughed writing it down.
Yes.
I'm like, did he just fucking say that? Yes, he did.
So was it a dream? I don't think it was astral projecting, was it?
It had to have been a dream because he couldn't astral project yet, according to the rules the movie has already laid out for us.
Right. And that fucking bird, man, it gave me flashbacks to Day of the Animals, because that fucking hawk, the narc hawk, and this bird was everywhere. Anyway, sorry.
So Gerald then gets a phone call telling him to check out a house in Pacoima with yellow dragons. That's who knows who killed Cheryl Mosley before she went missing. Oh, who took her before she went missing. So he gets the phone call while he's still awake, standing there at the window. So he maybe wasn't dreaming. Deep thoughts.
I don't know how. Did one of the chanters fall asleep while he was?
Yeah, one of the monks fell asleep, and that allowed the child to do what he was doing.
Yeah, I seem to remember one of the monks that was chanting passing out.
Okay.
And then he was able to astral project, but I didn't put those two things together until now because, I only watch it once a year.
I was just going to say something new came from this. You're welcome. So we cut to low rent Sons of Anarchy heading to this house. Gerald and the woman, we still don't know her name, following in a car. Gerald sees the bird again, so he puts a gun in his pocket and hops a wall and goes into the yard. And this bit did not make me laugh. I know it's intended to be funny, with the family having the barbecue in their yard.
Oh, well,
anybody want to take this?
This is where you and I part ways, because there was something about this scene that really worked for me. So he's, chasing him down, and he jumps over into somebody's backyard where they're having a barbecue as a family. And he's like, I just want some chips. I just want some chips. See? And he reaches in and he grabs a potato chip. And then he points the gun at the dad and goes, flip that. It's going to burn. Flip that.
It's burning.
That's what made me laugh. He's like pointing a gun at a man and telling him to do his barbecue. And I thought that was funny.
I agree. I mean, I thought it's burning. It's burning. I love that scene. And just a chip. Just one chip. But the whole time, the thing is, he jumps over the thing. He's saying, I just want a chip. But then he pulls out the gun while he's talking about the chip. He could have just been like, he could have just been less threatening.
It kept going.
Yeah, he didn't need the gun out yet.
Well, he didn't want the meat to burn, David.
That's true. And I agree wholeheartedly with making sure the meat does not burn.
Don't burn my meat.
So he gets over to the house there next door. Inside, the bikers are watching.
Like back to business.
I have to skip over that. So the bikers are watching a metal hair band music video. Anybody know if this is a real band and song?
I have no clue, and I've never even really tried to look it up.
The song was called Body Talk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the hair metal band performing it? Is that a real band? Is that like Rat or something?
I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Me either. I was like, I could look this up, but who cares?
It was Rat. Yeah.
Shut up!
Just looked it up.
I did. I just looked it up. It's fucking Rat. Wow.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay, I get a gold star or something. I don't know.
Way to go.
You win the guessing.
Woo! I was just the first band I could think of that looked like that. That's fucking funny. Holy shit. Okay, so real band, real song. There we go. Okay, so they're enjoying the hell out of this on the TV, right? MTV back when they used to play music videos. So outside, the woman has come over, hopped the wall, and Gerald sneaks in. an
Mhm.
unlocked back door.
I like how she hops along and it goes, makes that cool noise.
Well, she has magic powers. We'll find out later on in the movie.
She
Yeah,
has
but-
magic powers, all right.
Does it does it not make a whooshing noise in real life when you jump? It does for me.
It
Depends
makes
on what
a
you're wearing.
If I try to jump over a wall, it makes a very interesting noise.
It's like a crunching noise.
A crunching noise, and then there's a squeal of pain.
Cheryl gets jumped by a biker. We see the woman pick a lock with her hairpin and sneak in. There's a man that ties Gerald up against the wall. I want to say the biker in the scene, Gene LaBelle, he trained Chuck Norris and Ronda Rousey. Like, this guy's like a legit dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where's all your skills? Like, they don't really let him stretch his muscles and do his thing here just a little bit.
But he does look, he's the very familiar looking biker, right? The one that you
Yeah.
see in all the other movies.
The great big one he's like in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. What's his name again? I've always wondered because I know he's in everything.
Gene LaBelle.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
read
write it down. Write it down, Dave.
Write it down. Yeah, the guy here, Gene LaBelle, he looks a lot like, to me, a poor man's Danny Bonaducci. Very, very big, redhead, imposing looking dude. And I died because he's right in his face, Gerald's face.
You could just call him Eddie.
And he coughs. He coughs in his face. And not even post-COVID, like just my whole life, I have a thing with germs. And when somebody gets that close to me and coughs in my face, I could literally die, like right then and there.
They were throwing hands at that point.
So there's a joke about a Tic Tac here.
Oh, I have a thing of Tic Tacs in my pocket. You can have all of them.
I thought that was hilarious.
It's amusing. It didn't make me laugh.
That's the word. I kind of went, huh. A biker,
I'm just more easily entertained.
more
I
easily
guess.
amused. That's fine. That's great. So a biker comes in, confronts the woman. She karate chops him too easily and then runs into Coughing Buddy. She jumps up and grabs a bar that's exposed in the ceiling conveniently.
Gymkhana.
Breaks a water pipe, soaks her entire white outfit, not wearing a bra. Not
Oh
wearing a bra.
yeah. Oh yeah, she does.
Titties totally visible through her shirt. And I thought, how impractical. The bitch isn't wearing a bra for support. She's wearing a skirt and she's going to go fight people? Not prepared at all for this. So she kicks down a door, knocks out a dude that was behind it. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is all happening, all this crazy fighting between all the different people, intercut with scenes of the band Rat playing their music. Why is that the soundtrack for this fight scene?
And they paid for it.
They probably paid to be in this next upcoming giant Eddie Murphy hit.
That's probably what they were thinking. Yeah, it's worth the money.
Yeah. Well, the last movie was Beverly Hills Cop, and it was huge.
So she unties Gerald. He fights off half a dozen of the bikers, which I thought was weird, and then scolds her for coming in because man shit is happening in here, and he doesn't want her to get hurt.
Asshole.
His ego.
Asshole.
Yeah. So he asks one of the bikers about Cheryl, and he admits they did have her, but sold her to Tommy Tong, who owns a restaurant downtown.
And
he
dude
says,
is like super happy about it while he tells him this. Like, I mean, he couldn't be happier to say, yeah, we had a little girl and we sold her.
It's pretty shitty.
And some cigarettes. They got like a case of cigarettes or something like that, and some Chinese food from Tommy Tong, who is Peter Kwong, who is also in Big Trouble in Little China. Three people.
Yes, he is. So then we cut to Gerald telling the woman to stay in the car as they pull up to the restaurant. He goes in.
Did you miss the part there? During this fight scene, somebody hops on a motorcycle inside the house and drives it out of the house. Like, it was just out of nowhere. Okay, move on.
No, you're fine. Again, Wild West, like anything goes in the 80s in movies. I was like, what is happening? Okay, it's an 80s movie. I guess that's why it didn't stand out to me as so irregular or crazy. That shit just happens.
Tommy Tong.
Yeah, he goes in and the restaurant appears closed. So I was like, first of all, how did he get in? I guess they don't lock their door when they're closed because 8 guys are sitting around in their uniforms eating pizza which I thought was funny. I guess if you work cooking your ethnic food all day, you're like, fuck it, I want a pizza.
Well, yeah.
So Gerald asks for Tommy Tong, and they speak in Tibetan because that's what my captioning said they were speaking. Go ahead.
Tibetanese? Wouldn't that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It just says speaks in Tibetan on my captioning. And he goes, oh, you don't speak English? And then he fakes some sign language, which is, I guess, a funny bit to some people. Dave?
Let's throw it over to David. Let's see what David says about
not
this.
Really. I don't even know if he was saying anything for real. So
of course not. Of course not. All right, so back to Tommy Tong. Gerald asks for them to bring him Tommy Tong or he's gonna bust their ass. He likes to bust ass in this movie. So he grabs a weapon from the shadows. He comes busting out, yelling as he's coming at him. And I thought to myself, why in movies do you announce that you're attacking? Wouldn't you have a better advantage if you were quiet? Like a ninja?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And maybe hide under a cardboard box while you're at it and sneak up on him.
Slide out into the room. So Gerald picks up a chair, fights with Tommy a little bit before the woman comes in, does a couple of flips and confronts Tommy. He runs out the back door and disappears down an alley. And then he gets confronted by Charles Dance. And I was so excited that he morphs from a dumpster rat. It looks like shit, but he morphs and he's there. And I'm like, yes, for 2 fucking seconds, because he kills Tommy and then morphs back into the rat and leaves.
Now, it seems like ILM's like main way to make stuff look better was put a bunch of like gold sparkles or lights around it. I mean, that'll make the effect look better.
As you said, they were practicing here, so they were trying it out.
David said that. David brought that information to us.
Well, that's what I got. I watched a few things about this movie over the last couple of days besides just watching things about this movie, you know.
I was trying to do research and I ended up watching behind the scenes shit on Gremlins 2 and wishing we were talking about that movie.
Wah wah. So Gerald and the woman come over and find Tommy's body, and he beats her to it, so she thinks he killed him at first, and he's like, it wasn't me. So then she admits, okay, well, I think we're up against something supernatural. I was like, oh, great. Just more shit you're going to say that's going to turn him off and make him not believe what's happening.
Don't worry, he's about to get laid. He'll be fine.
That solves a lot, I think. So back at the warehouse, Charles Dance approaches the golden child, more Charles Dance, and tells him by the time they find you, it'll be too late. He rolls out what looks like a prayer rug and kneels down while humming. And then we are treated to 80s green screen as the wall vanishes behind him, breaks apart.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I think the wall breaking apart here looks really fucking cool.
It does. It looks really fucking cool. I agree.
We get the voice of the Thing, which I swear is supposed to be the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
here's my note.
Yeah.
He meditates on carpet and communicates with the demon from Spawn.
That's funny. So the voice asks, why did you kill Tom? Or no, he says it was wise to kill Tommy Tong. Dance says, thank you. And the voice asks why the golden child is still alive. I was wondering what the goal is here. Why is it so important to kill the golden child to this thing?
Well, I believe each golden child brings a gift to humanity, and the last one was killed, and I believe that one was justice.
Okay.
They make a comment. So there's some sort of gift that each golden child brings to humanity whenever he arrives. And if he survives, then he's able to bless us with this knowledge kind of thing. So I'm not sure exactly what this child is bringing to us, but he brings a gift to humanity that he's able to pass on to humanity if he makes it.
Are you sure the last golden child's gift, the one who got killed, was comedy? Because
oh, miss.
I know.
Why aren't you married to me?
The dagger's over his heart and I just keep kicking it in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. So if they're able to get the dagger and kill the child with it, then the demons can overtake Earth and basically make it hell on Earth.
Or
See, that's the vibe I got, but then I was like, well, how come it never happened previously when other golden children were murdered? How come demons didn't take over then?
Because they didn't make a movie about it.
yeah, well,
And he wasn't available.
maybe this is the child of not letting the demons take over and make hell on Earth.
Maybe it's
There
the
you go.
peace child, the peace child.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We worked it out.
Yes, because I mean, his powers have been definitely giving life and
Giving life.
cleansing. Did he say he's so far in the movie he's touched one guy and made him turn good from evil. So
You say the word evil, and that brings me to my next note. Dance says not to fear him because he is surrounded at all times by evil. And I thought to myself, do evil people who do evil things really acknowledge that they are evil?
I assume demons do.
They must not
Yeah.
think that. You think?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm assuming that demons do in like a mythology state of view, I guess. Who knows
Maybe.
what if there is a real demon out there, who knows what they think, but
Normally demons are portrayed as being very happy about being evil and bad and torturing people. So I would imagine that these guys would feel the same way.
All right. I just had to ask because I thought that's interesting. I've never really deep thought about that.
I mean, the monks that are working for him may not think that what they're doing is evil, but the demon himself definitely knows that what he's doing is evil and stopping
Not even evil, evil.
evil.
Like the
Yes.
fruits of the devil. All right, so this voice tells Dance to move the golden child yet again before the chosen one can find him. And this is where we see more of the henchmen. And this is where I wrote in my notes. So here it is. Pons Mar, the monkey face looking guy, was Sarad, the snake guy. from
Yes!
Master-
Oh, see?
We were right.
There it is. You were right. So we cut to Jarrell at home. He opens his eyes in bed and sees that he's lying in what I thought was a funeral parlor at first, but it's just an old fancy Victorian looking house, I guess. A white horse passes him in the hallway.
Because that's the kind of weird shit that happens in dreams.
I mean, I kind of liked the horse, and he just kind of looked at it and just kept going.
He just made a funny face.
Well, he at least acknowledged it.
Yes.
So I immediately paused it and grabbed my phone and Googled, and a white horse in your dream is a Tibetan symbol of purity and spirituality, powers of wisdom and freedom.
Oh, wow.
Look at you.
So there you go, my little bit of research I did.
Is that what it means in the Halloween 2 remake? by
I knew
Rob
you
Zombie?
were gonna say that, you fucker. We're not talking about that piece of trash.
Okay, move on.
So Dance and his henchmen show up, and Jarrell says, I must be dreaming. Dance says he's there to make Jarrell a generous offer. And then we get an applause sign and a studio audience.
Yes, I loved this. Loved this.
Didn't he crack a joke and then the applause line came on or something?
Yes, yes. So Dance points out how little Jarrell has in life. He makes him no offer of any kind, and Jarrell sits down. Dance says he really doesn't like Jarrell's attitude, and I'm going to repeat my offer one last time. And I wrote, what offer?
What offer?
What? What did I miss? So I backed it up because I legitimately thought I missed it. No. Jarrell says, it's a dream. I can say whatever I want to you. So he tells Dance to kiss his ass and makes little kissing noises.
Is this the point? I can't remember. Is this the point where you figure out that he can't say J's?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
He calls him Mr. Yarrow. Yarrow, yeah.
And they never really explain what that has to do with anything.
I
But
thought it was just him being a dick because he's evil.
Maybe it's a demon thing.
Yeah, maybe. But
you know damn good and well it was a character choice by Charles Dance.
The most talented actor in the film.
Right? He's doing Shakespeare while everyone else is doing Sesame Street. Pretty crazy.
wait a minute.
So
There's just different levels, David. Sesame Street's great.
I love Sesame Street.
So do I.
oh, hashtag Elmo forever. But I'm just
No,
saying
No,
Dance
not Elmo.
Dance
no.
is a league above everybody.
Fuck
No,
Elmo.
who's your favorite on Sesame Street?
My favorite was always Big Bird.
I like
Oh.
Oscar the Grouch, but
Okay,
same
so
person played both of them.
We have to
so-
qualify that, gentlemen. Why are those your favorites?
I don't know. I mean, I like Ernie and Bert. I like all Muppets.
The
and-
originals, yes.
The OGs. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, I like Big Bird because Big Bird was just such a big sweetheart, and he cared about everybody around him. And that I always really connected to. I also liked Oscar the Grouch because I was also a big grump a lot of the times. But
well, Oscar's more than that. He acts like he doesn't care, but he really
yeah,
does.
deep down he wants to be accepted and loved and all that. But yeah, Big Bird mainly because just how kind he was and always Anyway, Miss, was Elmo your favorite?
Him and Grover.
Oh, I love Grover
Grover.
too.
Yeah. But now I got to segue and ask who's your favorite Muppet, because that makes me think Muppets as well.
David.
Sweetums.
Oh.
Mine is shit, I can't remember his name, guys. He's the one that showed up in the Vincent Price "You've Got a Friend" episode where they sing "You've Got a Friend." Is Uncle Creepy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
my very close second is Gonzo too. So
Okay. Mine's Rizzo the Rat.
Oh yeah.
All right. So moving on. Dance says he wants to trade the child for the Ajanti dagger.
That's the offer.
That's the offer. We finally get it.
It's nothing for Eddie.
Nope. Especially because he doesn't have the dagger yet.
yeah.
Like, what? So Dance uses a fingernail of obscene length to slice a sizzling hot cut into Gerald's arm as a reminder of their evening, and tells Gerald to tell his friends that Sardo Numspa sends his greetings, and then he leaves. And I just thought to myself, of all the names that you could make up for an evil guy, why this one?
What does Eddie call him later on? Brother
Noopsy.
Noopsy.
Brother Noopsy, I've stolen from my brother.
But Sardo Numspa, I'm like, that's not very menacing sounding. They couldn't do better than that, this writer.
I wonder if there's any hidden J's in there.
Oh.
So next, Mr. Jarl fucks with the henchman. He gets the studio audience to laugh. Then he goes into the next room and finds the woman dressed very vixen-ish.
Tied up in toilet paper. Hot!
Tied
to
in
a
toilet
wall.
paper.
Yeah. He calls her by her name, Key. I was like, oh, we have a name finally. And he unties her from the toilet paper, and there's an old guy playing an accordion who's watching them. It's so weird. And he says they should find the kid and spend some time together. The henchmen come in, they and Noomspa all tussle, and then Jarrell wakes up.
All right, so if they won the fight in the dream, would they have knocked him out in real life?
Oh, that would have been cool, like a Freddy Krueger situation.
Yeah, I mean, why else would they be attacking him in the dream? It doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Well, yeah, he's able to cut Jarrell, so he wakes up with a wound on his arm. So yeah, you'd think he'd wake up with bruises from getting his ass kicked.
I don't know why they sent him into the dream. Dave, you got any ideas, buddy?
I do not know. I'm assuming that the dream was just a way to, like, kind of an astral projecting type thing to make the offer, and then to show him that, look, I have power in the dream. I think his first offer, he was kind of getting around to the fact that I can give you things in real life if you just join our side. But he never really made an offer, like you said.
Join the dark side. We have cookies. All right, listeners, that is going to wrap up part 1 of our discussion on the 1980s vehicle for Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child. Come back next week for part 2, the full wrap-up, equally as entertaining, if I do say so myself. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, goodbye.
I'm not gonna hurt anybody. I don't want no trouble. No trouble. I'm sorry. I just want some chips. I want some chips. That's all. All I want some chips. See, the chip. That's it. Turn that over, man. It's burning. It's burning. Turn it over. It's burning. I just want some chips.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here, saying we know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so we want to thank you so much for listening to ours. Please make sure to find us on our socials and join us, be part of our bad movie conversations. We want to chat with you. We're on Facebook with an official page, as well as a Let's Talk Turkeys discussion group where you can talk with other like minded individuals who like bad movies. We're on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Our Twitter handle is at Gobble Podcast. That's GOBBLEPODCAST. And of course, you can always email us direct. We would love to get suggestions from you of movies you would like us to cover. If you want to be a guest on the show, we would love that. So directly, that's Let's Talk Turkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.